Hello Flosstube, my name's Nicola and this is Bumble Stitches. It's Sunday the 3rd of January 2021. Happy New Year to you all. I hope you're all doing well and that you had a really nice restful time over Christmas and the New Year. Obviously it was very different than many of us have ever experienced before, but yeah, it was quiet here. Just myself, Justin and Emily on Christmas Day, and those of you that watched Vlogmas will know that Lulu, my daughter, was planned to be with us along with Milo, but that didn't happen because she'd been exposed to somebody with the virus. She did actually go and have a test on Christmas Day morning, which came back really quickly, and thank goodness said that she and her partner were both negative, so that was really good. And I did do a food drop off at her doorstep of their Christmas dinner and all the bits and pieces that that she would have had if she'd been here with us, so all wasn't lost completely, and it was just nice. And we opened presents on FaceTime later that day, so it actually turned out to be quite a nice day in the end after all, and I hope yours was too. I'm just looking down because I've made some notes so that I don't forget anything, because my head is all over the place at the moment. There's so many things happening. I wanted to thank you all that followed me on my Vlogmas journey. It was fun and there were some ups and downs, and I know there are still people catching up with Vlogmas viewing, and the comments are still coming in. I'm a bit behind with liking comments and answering any questions, so do bear with me. But yes, thank you all so much for your support. It was such good fun and it really did make my December. So yeah, thank you. And I do plan in the future to perhaps do some vloggy style videos again. Maybe even some baking, you never know. So keep an eye out for those. The subscriber numbers have crept up considerably, so thank you if you're a new subscriber. I really appreciate you stopping by, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I'm so happy. There are so many of us now in this little community, so I will be doing a giveaway, and I'm hoping that by my next video it would have just tipped over 5,000 subscribers, and I'll give you and show you details of the giveaway prize on the next video. I mentioned that there's been a few changes and that my head's a bit full at the moment. One of the Christmas gifts that I received this year from Justin was a complete surprise. He sometimes struggles to know what to get me as a gift, and I made a comment a month or so ago before Christmas about how nice it would be to play the piano, and that I'd always wanted to. I'd sort of done music lessons at school like most of us do, and dabbled in a few different instruments, but never really learnt to play anything. Well, not to the point where I could get a tune out of, let's put it that way. But he actually surprised me with an electronic piano keyboard, and I was completely dumbfounded when I opened this huge box that was by the Christmas tree. I had no idea what it was. He was teasing me that it was some sort of domestic product, like a new ironing board or something that I wouldn't be best pleased with. It actually was this digital piano, and oh my goodness, I love it. It's amazing. I'm really not very good yet, but I have been doing an online piano course and starting to get a few notes that do actually sound quite musical. So yeah, I'm carving my time up into obviously looking after the house and cooking and trying to learn to play the piano and trying to do my cross stitch and some sewing and all those things. So yeah, it's just as well that I am going to be off work for at least another month until the end of January, so that I can carry on with all the things I want to do. But yeah, so things have been quite busy, but all in a good way. While I'm having a little catch up with you all, I also wanted to say a massive thank you to Liz from Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch for the shout out that she gave me on her video. Thanks Liz, that's much appreciated. And if you haven't watched Lizzie's whip parade that she did recently, you should check it out. It's absolutely amazing. But yeah, thanks again, Liz. That was really much appreciated. Talking of whip parades, I've been really enjoying all the ones that are popping up on Flosstube, and it did make me wonder whether I should do one myself, but having not been Flosstubing for very long, I wondered if it was really of any value. So yeah, the jury's still out on that. I may leave it another couple of months and then do a whip parade when I've got a few more whips, which almost certainly I will have by that point. But let's move on now and have a look at some stitching. So I do have a finished object for you today. It's not fully finished, but I'm pleased to have got it done, and it's the Merry and Minty, which was the free charts put out by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. And I really had fun stitching this little piece. I mean, I say little, I'm just going to budge it over a bit so you can see it a bit better. I say little, but it actually took me quite a bit of time over Christmas, which is understandable. There's a lot going on, isn't there, at Christmas time? But I was really pleased. I think I finished this on Boxing Day, which is the 26th of December, if you're not familiar with Boxing Day. Yeah, and I really, really enjoyed it. Well, I say I enjoyed it up until I had to do the little backstitch garland and all the little French knots. I'm not so good at that, but hopefully it's not too bad. And I'm going to get this finished up as a little pillow so that it can be used for my Christmas decorations next year. And I do plan to get it finished up and then pop it away. I don't want to get it out this time next year or before Christmas this year. I'm confused now what year it is, and have to finish it. So I will get that done so that I can pop it away all good to go for 2021's Christmas decor. The threads that I used were all DMC. I think I did use the licorice red, which I stole from another project. But yeah, I used all DMC for that, and I'm really pleased with the results. So that is my only finished item that I can show you today. And in true Nicola fashion, I'm going to say that I'm going to keep everything tidy as I do this floss tube. But invariably, we all know that I will end up with a great big mess. But there you are. And I do need to try and keep this room tidy, because from tomorrow, Justin's back working from home, and he will need to use this space as the office. So yeah, I'll have to organise myself better, and I might decamp my sewing machine to the dining room so that I can still get on with some projects and things while he's working. But anyway, I've got distracted. A few whips that I have, which I'll just share with you in my little Christmassy bag that I made a while ago. And in here I have, this is the Merry Chalkful, and as you can see, I didn't get very far. I think because the dark fabric, it was not as easy to stitch on as some of my other projects. But yeah, I've made sort of some progress into it. But I will be putting this away now for a while. Now that Christmas is gone, I'm kind of over it. I don't really want to spend too much time doing Christmas stitching. But I'm pleased to have got that much done. So hopefully if I pull it out for in Mania or Jolly July or something like that, I can get it finished up, ready in time for next Christmas. And I'll just show you the pattern page for that. It's a hands-on design. Sorry about the glare. So you can see it there, and it was based on a chalk drawing by Priscilla Blaine of Stitching with the Housewives. But I do really love that design. The threads I'm using are all the cord for. They're in a bit of a jumble. So there's some classic Colourworks and some Gentle Arts there, and that's what's left of the licorice red after pinching some to go in Merry and Minty. So that can go back in the Christmas bag. And another Christmas project which I may have I think I might carry on with this one for a little while longer. This is living in the beautiful linen bag that I got in the Stitchery advent calendar, and it's the gingerbread men that I did share the painting of the fabric on my Vlogmas, and I think it was the 23rd of December's video. I haven't got any further than I did originally. I've still only got the first gingerbread stitched, but I think I will get the others done again, because I would like to get this one stitched and finished so that it's ready for next Christmas's decorations. I don't know where I'm going to find all this time, I really don't, but it's fun to have plans, isn't it? I'll tie the bow up on that one later. Okay, another whip that has been resurrected. This has been neglected quite a bit actually. It's living in my Union Jack bag that I made. And this is the Prim Stitch series by Laurie Holt. And if you've been watching me for any length of time, you will know I am a massive Laurie Holt fan. And I'm a little bit behind, as I said, on this project, but let me show you where I'm at when I can get organised. And so I've done the first three, and I'm currently stitching on this piece here, which is Kindness and Generosity. So month 4. It's a 12-month, it's in 12 monthly parts. So I do need to get back on board with this one so that I can catch up with myself. And I've also got the next one ready to go, Beauty and, is it Simplicity? Yes, Beauty and Simplicity. So that one will be here in the middle before the next one arrives, because otherwise I'll really panic then that I'm getting out of sync with it. I'm stitching this on a 25 count Lugana, which is the recommended fabric, and I think it's mushroom, and all the threads are the Orifil Orifloss, and they are the Prim collection, so it's all the called for threads on that. So, but I do enjoy it so much, and I don't want to get so far behind that I can't see a finish on it when it's sort of, you know, pretty much near to the time that it would be finishing. And I do have a plan to finish it as a sort of a quilted wall hanging rather than framing it. I think I'll finish it off with some batting and some fabric on the back, and maybe some squares around the outside. And I might secure it at the, if I put it away now, haven't I? I'm trying to explain something and I've put it away. And my plan is to, at the intersections, so sort of here and here and further down, is to fix a little button on, and just sort of like a tied quilt, and just secure it with a little button, just to finish it off and also hold the sandwich together. But I am really enjoying that project, but it just fell by the wayside while I was concentrating on Christmas. And it's like most of us, I guess, you just see new things, don't you? And you just want to do all the brand new starts. So those are my whips. There are older whips that I've got sort of in here, which I need to have a bit of a sort out. I'm waiting for some, I'm not going to have time to make as many project bags as I would like to make. So I'm waiting for some bags to come from Amazon. Well, I say I'm waiting for them, I haven't ordered them yet. I'll probably order them later today. Just those vinyl zip up bags so that I can make my organisation a little bit more slick, because at the moment it is a bit of a jumble. And I might even, when I'm organising and getting everything set up, I might even video that. If you'd be interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments, and I'll sort of, I mean, it will be like a free-for-all. It'll be just a big mess and me probably sitting on the floor sorting through all this stuff in here and getting organised. But yeah, if that's your kind of thing, if you like seeing people organising stuff and generally yeah, taking some chaos and making it a bit more pretty, then let me know and I will film it. Right, so now we need to move on to some new starts. Okay, so the big news start that I'm really excited about is, of course, Anniversaries of the Heart. I did do a short video a few days ago, which was just me getting my fabric and my threads ready in preparation to start this on the 1st of January. So if you wanted to have a look at that, please go and have a little look. It's less than 10 minutes, just a short video. So, but yes, I did make the start on the 1st of January and I didn't get very far, as you can see. The main thing that stopped me was I had a really bad headache that lasted about a day and a half, and I just couldn't face stitching. But I was determined to get some stitches on it. Let me put my board behind it so that you can see it a little better. Now, problems so far include how much fabric I have going on. So here's my hoop. I've got a lot of it rolled up here with a little wonder clip thing. And then we have all this to deal with. I've tried clipping it in all manner of ways, and I dread to think how I'm ever going to get the creases out of this when it's eventually stitched, but that's a long way off, so I won't worry about that just yet. The other thing that's causing me a little bit of a worry, I'll see if I can find a smaller something to put it up against to stop is the colour of the vine. So as you can see, this little section here, it's not showing up too bad on camera, and in certain lights it's absolutely fine, and in other lights I can't see it at all. It completely blends into the fabric. And I know that this particular part of the pattern, this first one, which you've all seen, is Snow Garden. Lots of people have had that problem and sort of switch their thread colours around to try and get round it. So this is why I've skipped on to the house. I thought I'd get the main part done, the house and the peacock and some of the other motifs, and then reevaluate how the border looks. And if I'm still not happy with it, then I'll just take this little vine out and pop something in that's a little bit darker that will show up. But I am loving it, and this particular block is going to be for my dad. His birthday is a January birthday. Sadly, he's no longer with us, and his birthday is the 29th of January. So if I can get it done by then, I'll be really, really happy. That'll be a nice day to complete this block on. So I'll see if I can time it to to just put his initials in on the 29th of this month. So that's the start. Now, it is a year-long stitch along, and there are so many people doing it. I was having chats with Rachel from the Flosstube. So Rachel and Sue have started theirs as well. And there are so many people that have been in touch with me on Instagram and via Flosstube, and just so many people are starting this again. And most of us inspired by Olivia's completed Anniversaries of the Heart, which she just shared on her Flosstube yesterday. So if you haven't seen Olivia's, please go and have a look, because if you didn't want to stitch it, once you see that, you probably will. And there's plenty of time to join in. There's no rules or regulations, just stitch along, enjoy it, share your progress using the hashtag. I'll put the hashtag at the bottom of the screen here for you. It's BB Anniversaries 2021. And we'll just all stitch together and just enjoy the process, because I think it's such a beautiful piece, and yeah, I think it's going to be like an heirloom piece, really, isn't it? So that is my really exciting new start. And I've got another new start. Let's just move you out of the way. Oh, I didn't show you my threads, did I? I did list them all on that video that I mentioned, the little preparation video. So I listed the thread colours that I'm using, and I've already started messing about with it. I've already added in some DMC Ecru for some of the snowflakes, but these are my threads here. Most are DMC. There's a couple of overdyeds. There's a Gentle Arts and a Weeks, but I do list them all on that video in the description box. So if you wanted to know that information and the fabric that I'm using, have a little look there and you'll get everything that you need to know. Another stitch along, oh, pop that down there. Another stitch along that I'm excited about is the Sew by Row by Laurie Holt, which is a stitch along being run by Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube. I made my bag a few Flosstubes ago that I shared with you. This is a hands-on designs pattern that I slightly modified and made this bag up specifically with this project in mind because I am so excited about it. So let me show you what I have in here. So obviously I have my chart ready to go. So Sew by Row, it's a Sew Emma pattern and it's a Laurie Holt design, and I'm using all the DMC called for, but they also give you options for Weeks Dye Works, and I'm using the called for fabric as well, which is a 25 count Lugana. Actually, that's reminded me I do need to put a zigzag along the edge of this so it doesn't fray on me. So I've got the called for fabric, and on my Beekeeper thread organiser I've got all the DMC. They look amazing, don't they? I sat and did this yesterday afternoon. It's kind of like a really colourful sort of jellyfish or a maypole, but I love this thing. It's a hard sort of acrylic cut out with all the holes for your floss. It's numbered all the way around, and then in the pack you get some little cards and you can just write your key on there so that you've got all your threads all logged and ready to go. There are 12 spaces on here, and sod's law, there are 13 threads in the design, but I just popped the black just on a little tag here ready to go. So this sew along is stitch along is starting on the 6th of January, which I think is Wednesday. So I'm pretty much good to go, and I think it's going to be done, as you would guess by the name Sew by Row, by doing, I think it's going to be broken down into rows for the stitch along. But if you want some more details on this, I know that there is a Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube tomorrow, the 4th of January. It's 3 o'clock UK time, I know that, and 9 o'clock whatever the time is in Texas. So I'm not sure what part of, if that's central time or whatever, I'm not sure. But if you go onto Fat Quarter Shop Flosstube, you will find details, and I'm sure they'll be covering the information about the stitch along for that on tomorrow's Flosstube. So I, for one, am very excited to get that started. Right, on to my haul, and it does include some rather lovely Christmas gifts that I got as well. The first thing that I'm going to show you, I'm bursting with excitement about. I'm so thrilled to have it, and I'll explain a little bit why I've chosen this particular project, but let me just show you this. I can't believe I've actually got this. I'm so excited. It is probably well known to lots of you. It's coming to America by Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. And this was released last year to commemorate the journey of the Mayflower from England to America. And the first thing I have to say is every time I pick this up or think about it, I have Neil Diamond in my head with that song Coming to America. And the other thing I should point out is that this made it over to me in such quick time. It was quite incredible considering the pandemic, the postal service being overwhelmed in the run up to Christmas. But Justin bought me this for Christmas. He knew how much I wanted it. I told him that I'd seen some were available on Brenda Gervais' website. So he went on and got this ordered for me. Would you like to see what's inside the box? I love it. I don't have the floss or the fabric yet, so that's a project to come. But I love kitting things up, so that's absolutely fine. So, of course, the first thing that you get is the chart. And obviously that's got all the details of the fabric and the floss on the back. You get this little gizmo that I'm guessing you can put it on your floss ring, and also it's 3 inches square, so it's a really handy guide for starting from the corner of your linen. So that is really handy. You also get a floss ring. This is super cute. I love her. The little Lady Pilgrim, which I think is just adorable. I love this so much. I think it's made from polymer clay. So super, super cute. I love her. And you get a label to go on the back of your completed piece, so that you can put your details on there. And I think, I'm not going to twiddle with it now, but I think it's a sticker, so you can just stick that on the back of your framed piece. You get a bonus chart, Harvest Blessings, which I think is so cute. And I think I'll stitch this one because I need to get some autumny sort of things going on, because I've got nothing in that line. So really thrilled to have that bonus chart. And then you get a piece, there is a little bit of information about William Bradford, who was a passenger on the ship. And there is a piece of fabric which has been printed with an excerpt from his journal. Let's see if I can get it the right way up. And there are directions in this pattern to use this. If you make this up as a pillow, to use this as the fabric for the back. So it's going to be absolutely stunning. I hope I can do it justice. So you might be thinking, what is a woman in Suffolk stitching coming to America for? And there are a couple of reasons. One is that I love it. 2 is why not? 3 is that it's a connection, isn't it? And certainly since starting this Flosstube journey, obviously YouTube gives you lots of statistics and analytics when you're a creator of videos, and it tells you where your audience is based. And I'm so fortunate to have you guys in the audience from all around the world, but predominantly it's you stitchers in the States that are watching this channel, and it's made me feel really connected to you guys. So to do this piece is kind of a way of celebrating that we are completely connected via those first sort of passengers that went over to America from here. And interestingly enough, a lot of the people that were on the Mayflower are from this area that I live in, sort of in the east of England, and some as locally as a couple of miles up the road. So I thought, and then I started looking into it a little bit more, and as it would turn out, the Mayflower itself was actually from Harwich, which, as the crow flies from here, is only about 5 miles away. So I'm going to pop a couple of pictures in here, hopefully, if I can. And I'm just going to read you out a little bit of information while you look at the pictures. Okay, the Mayflower is believed to have been built in Harwich sometime before 1600 and was commanded and part owned by her master, Captain Christopher Jones, whose house still stands on King's Head Street near the waterfront. Existing records show that Jones sailed the original Mayflower to Norway, the Mediterranean and France, exporting woolen cloth and importing wine, although he had never made the transatlantic crossing before. In about 1611, Jones decided to leave Harwich and move south to Rotherhithe in London, a mile downstream from the Thames from the Tower of London. And obviously from there on in, he went on to captain the ship to make the famous historical trip to America. So yeah, I do feel connected, and I just can't wait to get stitching on it. I'm going to wait until I've got the right fabric and the right flosses for it, because I want to do it justice, and there are still real shortages of sort of over-dyed flosses and linens at the moment here in the UK. I'm sure it is like that in lots of countries. But what a wonderful gift. I'm just so thrilled to have that. Some other things that I got as Christmas presents. Justin also bought me this lovely quilt book, Prim and Proper, the Laurie Holt quilt pattern. I won't show you obviously because a lot of it is actually the instructions, but there are some gorgeous patterns in here for cushions and table runners, as well as the actual main quilt itself. So that's on my list of things to do this year. So he did well, didn't he? A piano, coming to America, and a Prim and Proper. He did very, very well. My daughter Lulu bought me a tailor's clapper, which caused much amusement in the family as to why Mum wanted a block of wood. And if you are not a quilter and you don't know what this is, it's used for, I suppose traditionally by tailors when pressing fabric and garments. But in quilting it's used after you've pressed a seam. You put this heavy wooden, I think they're made from maple wood, you put this down on your seam while it's still hot and leave it there until it's gone cool. And then when you remove it, you have got a really flat seam. So yeah, I was after one of these and Lulu bought me one of these for Christmas, so that was fab to receive. Some other haul that I bought for myself. I had a bit of a journey with the fabric for Anniversaries of the Heart. I shared a couple of episodes ago, excuse this rustling, but I bought some linen from XG Designs that was beautiful but a little bit too pinky. So I went on Etsy and bought some Sajou linen, and because I was undecided, this is the tea colourway and this is the sand colourway, and I thought one of them would be suitable for Anniversaries of the Heart. So I bought just a fat quarter of each, then I thought I'd get a real life sample of the colour. They'd be great for other projects and I could go ahead and order the big piece knowing that the colour would be right. And I love them, but they weren't the right colour, so I've just added 2 fat quarters of 32 count linen to my stash, which is fine. So I got those, and I got them from an Etsy seller called Penelope Textiles Limited, and I think she's based up in Scotland. So they will go into stash. One of them may be okay for something I'm going to show you in just a second. And of course, this had to happen. I'd seen everybody else buying it, and as Brenda says, buy all the Blackbird, and I'm definitely in compliance. This came a couple of days before Christmas. I got this from the Patchwork Rabbit here in the UK, and it's beautiful. There's been lots of flick throughs of this, so I won't do that all again. I'm just going to show you my 2 favourites, absolute favourites. The first pattern that I'm going to stitch is this. I love it. I love the owl on the tree. I like the colours. Sorry for the glare. And that one is Spell of the Moon. And it's 65 by 89 stitches on a 32 count. So hopefully shouldn't take too long, although I'm not a very quick stitcher. But I just think it's beautiful. I love the little owl against the moon. I just think it's so pretty and so classic and subtle. And the other one that I really love, and I think probably not alone in this, is Mighty Acorn. How stunning is that as a autumn sampler? And of course there are things like the strawberry. I've never done a strawberry, but I'm willing to give it a go. And the little pin keeps and drums and all sorts of things. If you don't have this, you won't regret it if you get it, because there are just so many beautiful designs in here, and I'm very pleased to have it. Another couple of patterns. One is a freebie, which is this one that's probably been doing the rounds for ages, but new to me. It's from Needlework Press, and I picked it up I think via their Instagram. I'll see if I can find a link to it down below. And I can't remember if this was as a result of Michelle's freebies that she was showing on her Mama Loves You GB channel. If it was actually this one that she showed, or she showed something else and then I found this as a result of it. But I just love the colours, and I think it's going to be such a cute little pillow. And although we're now in 2021, I think I'll probably stitch it as 2020, as that being, you know, the main year that everything changed. And it's all charted for DMC, so, and gives you lots of options for the fabric. If you stitch it on a 32 count, which I probably would, it's 4.9 inches wide by 3.7 inches high. So it's just a really cute small. So yeah, I'll see if I can find a link to that down below. So I downloaded and printed that one off. And the other design that I got as a PDF, and this is from Whilst Iris Naps Designs, and that's Christina. And I mentioned last time that Christina started a Flosstube, and it's fab. And we're eagerly waiting episode 2, Christina, if you're watching. So I'm not cracking the whip, but you know, come on. But isn't it beautiful? This is Anne Logan 1840, and it's a Scottish sampler, and it was the colours that drew me to it, and also the fact that a lot of these in the larger section of the alphabet are actually specialist stitches. Now get me, not been cross stitching very long, and now I'm going to be doing fancy stitches, but I did have a chat with Christina, and she assured me that the pattern goes into a lot of detail, and now I have it, it does. It has really clear instructions, and she said they are, you know, I should be able to manage it. So I'm looking forward to getting that one kitted up at some point. And that is, apart from some threads, I think that is all of my haul, which is quite enough, I think. I do have a plan to stitch Winter Rose Manor. You've probably all seen this, and my lovely friend Paula is stitching this, and I really want to stitch. I mean, she's already started and I don't have the threads. I'm sorry for this glare. Yeah, I didn't have the threads, and of course, as I mentioned, thread shortages, blah blah blah. I went on online and had trouble finding the right threads. I've got some of them. I've got a few that I actually had in stash, believe it or not, because I don't have a huge stash, certainly not of threads. So I've got 4 out of the however many it is that I need, and I've got some on the way that I've ordered, so I'm waiting for them to come. But I was just, as we were looking at this Sajou linen, I'm thinking it might be quite nice for Winter Rose Manor, and I'm trying to do things with one hand here. So I'm wondering if that, and if I can grab them, some of these, I haven't got any of the pinkies or reds yet. Yeah, I'm hoping that might look quite nice. I did have an inkling to use the Seashell XG Designs linen that I showed on my last episode, or episode before that. But the main colour of the house is the colourway Conch, which is a pinky one, and I'm not sure if it would show up on that, but I think it probably would on this linen here, or maybe I need something darker. Oh well, it's more linen shopping, isn't it? So I think that brings me to the end of the haul. I did have an extra thing that arrived, which is a quilting related thing, and I was wondering, moving forward, if it would make more sense for me to add a little section at the end of my Flosstube if I've done any quilting that I want to share with you, because by the time I get enough quilting to make up a whole quilty episode, it's probably going to be ages. So, and I thought I can always do what lots of other Flosstubers do, is just sort of pop it on the end, and then if you want to tune out at that point you can. But yeah, if you'd like to see some quilting as well, do let me know. I received this, which is the first part of the Nebula quilt by Tula Pink, and I haven't really gone through it yet. I've had so much going on, it's kind of sat in the craft room. So it comes in this project bag, so you can keep your, it's a block of the month, and you can keep your block in here until you're ready to join them all together. And I'll just give you a quick peek at what's inside here. You also get a quilt label to go on your completed quilt. That's going to be a long way away. And then you get the fabrics for block 1. Shall we have a look at them? Because I haven't actually opened this yet. Let's open this up. Now, this is really a little bit out of my comfort zone, the colours of the Nebula quilt. I was just really drawn to it, and I think because of the design of it, I really want to expand my quilting skills, and having done some of the journey, I'm just sort of getting these in some semblance of order to show you. Yeah, I thought it'd be good to build my skills, get more confident as a quilter. Let's move Winter Rose Manor out of the way. Talk about a juxtaposition going from Winter Rose Manor to Nebula. So these are the first fabrics that I've received for block 1, all tulip pink, and the pattern, so you can see it really is not my normal colours, but I just felt really drawn to this design. I'm looking forward to making a start, and I think this actually starts on, I think it's this week, I think it's either the 5th or 6th of January. So yeah, I'm racking up the monthly things. So I'm going to have Anniversaries of the Heart, Sew by Row, Prim Stitch series, Nebula quilt, and yeah, and anything else that I feel like throwing into the mix. So I'm going to be a busy girl, but I hope you've enjoyed looking at what I'm up to, looking at what I've completed, what I'm working on, the lovely presents that I got, and just catching up for the new year. So I will be back in 2 weeks' time, and I hope to see some of you then. I hope to have hit 5,000 subscribers so we can do the giveaway. But in the meantime, happy stitching and take care. Bye.